Welcome everybody to episode 123 of the effing title. I'm Vic Husky,
I'm DeNutte.
and welcome to this very special Memorial Weekend morning Morbius podcast. DeNutte, how you
Morbius.
doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm Morb. So as you can tell,
Uh,
we watched fucking Morbius this weekend.
yeah. Well, you sent. I wasn't even on my radar, and you sent me.
I
He didn't send me a link,
yeah,
but he sent me a link.
totally didn't send him a link. No, I didn't. I wasn't even expecting it either. I woke up on Friday morning, went to work at 4 in the morning. So of course I did one order, right? Sat down, took a little bit of a break, went on Twitter, and on Twitter someone's like, "There's an account on Twitch that's called Morbius 24/7, and they've literally just been showing the movie nonstop." And
Although,
I'm sitting there like, there's no fucking chance. Like, there's no shot this is happening. So I'm at work, typed it in. Oh,
well, the one you sent me only has after I watched it, it had 140 views. That
mm-hmm.
was it. And I was like, I was actually surprised. I'm like, no wonder it hasn't been taken down. It's like it's
Exactly.
just
Like I just so yeah. So we watched Morbius.
we watched Morbius. Um,
Um. So yeah, yet again, this is one of those things where we need to just come up eventually here with a way that we're gonna do film reviews, because I feel like this is gonna be a film/show reviews. Um. Overall, how about this? Let's start off. Overall,
yeah.
not as bad as everyone says.
I, I'll take it one further. Like I so. There, I liked it. Oh, how do I phrase this? I hated it. I liked it.
It's like I said to you, it's Wonder Woman 84.
No, no. There are things about it that didn't make me upset. In the
Mm-hmm.
same vein as where Doctor Strange made me upset.
Oh,
I liked. I didn't like Morbius that much, but I less upset with it than I was with Doctor Strange.
okay, okay, that's
Um,
fair.
Not to say I didn't like Doctor Strange more. Doctor Strange got me upset at times. Like I was legitimately frustrated with it.
Yeah,
Where
I
this movie, I was like, yeah, I like it.
I think that because of course one of the big things with it, right, was and one of the things that pissed off a lot of people with it was the fact of the marketing. The marketing was showing a lot of the Spider-Man imagery, and then him and Vulture meeting in the back alley, and then them hinting a lot that hey, this is going to be in the Marvel thing, and how is this connected to Marvel and all that. I think that if they would have removed all of that aspect of it from all the trailers, this movie wouldn't have got shit on as much.
Hmm. Yeah, because it really is just a multiverse tie-in with Doctor Strange, and
Yeah,
Spider-Man and Venom.
yeah,
Because did you watch the new Spider-Man?
yeah.
Okay, so you had how the ending with
Mm.
all this shows going on. I mean, that's exactly what happened with Vulture. Excuse me.
Um,
Um,
one of the things that I did think was interesting was because, of course, everyone's heard all the negatives and all the different things. And I was saying to Xander on Instagram,
You
I was
know,
like,
I didn't really hear a lot of the negatives. I'm gonna be honest with you. All I
so
saw was
you know,
people making fun of that clip of the guy dancing, and I was
which
like, oh,
which is funny, right? So I said, let's talk about that scene then real quick, right? So I was saying to Xander, I was like, it's funny because you watch that scene out of context.
that's what I keep saying to people. I'm like, it's a context thing.
It's a
In
very
context,
it's a
it
very
makes
cringy
sense.
thing. But then when you watch the movie, is it cringy in the movie even when you have the context? Yes, but it makes more sense though. So the whole thing with it is that Matt Smith is playing Jared Leto's best friend from when they were in the orphanage together, and he was also a cripple. The difference is,
I think they're related.
really,
Well, because
I mean, they kept saying
what's
brother to each other, but I felt like that was just
yeah, I don't know.
like a me, Rob, and Jeff sort of, John sort of
Yeah, but
brother.
yeah, they're probably not related. But it was just weird to me that it's like these two kids, same age, have this really rare blood condition, and they're
Mm,
both happen to be in what Panama.
yeah, it was something like that. Actually, now that
I'm
you say that,
assuming.
I don't remember if they actually say where it was in the
I don't
beginning.
think they say, but they referenced Panama a couple times, so I just assume it was Panama because it was like, like the expats.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
then like he has an accent. Jared Harris, the doctor,
Hmm.
he has an accent. So it was there's kind of stuff that was like, like little plot things that not holes, but they just kind of didn't. Okay.
They didn't fill
Anyways,
it in properly, but so anyway, so
yeah.
they're both cripples, and the whole thing with it is, and this is going to be spoiler fucking heavy, just so everyone knows, because we're not fucking holding back on this one. At the very beginning, you find out, so like, Leto's character is a very smart character. We know this anyway. Michael Morbius is a very smart character, genius level, like intellectual, that shit. So at the very beginning, they're like, "Hey, look, I can get you into this like school, right? Is that right?" Basically, at the beginning, they're like, "Hey,
He
I can
based
get you into like this university or this school as like a child, like a super because
in New York.
yeah, because you're smart, So of course the kid takes it, but he just met and saved the life of his new friend, who's Matt Smith's character, and his character gets bullied because he's a cripple. So then we find out later in the movie, it's like, okay, Michael Morbius is the wicked smart guy. He just told the Nobel Peace Prize people to go fuck themselves. And then he goes to visit his friend, who's Matt Smith, and we find out that he's like just basically a scumbag at this point.
So do they say exactly he's got to be like a drug dealer, right?
That's the thing is like I
Or
don't know, like
they don't, because I wanted to say that too. Like he has all these like armed security on him,
and
and he has like this. He's obviously
he
rich.
drops one line after the armed security part, and he says something about like, oh, I played the wrong hand at the wrong place or something like that with the Russians or something. Like I said, it's very like I felt like they, and of course this could also go to the whole part of the Sony MCU, how much of the involvement did Kevin Feige kind of monkey with? The fact that it got pushed how many times? Fucking 7.
I have no idea.
It got pushed.
I knew nothing about this movie
Yeah,
going
so
into it
this
really.
movie got pushed. If you look, you'll see it. It got pushed like 7 times or something like that. It was supposed to come out in like 2018. It just constantly kept getting pushed. So I'm wondering
Mm.
if that is kind of the same thing with the last X-Men movie, the Dark Phoenix one. That one got
That movie sucks.
that movie sucks because Kevin Feige fucked it over.
I won't lie to you. I didn't like the last. I think the first one was good, and then the other two were real hot garbage.
Yeah, I can give you that. I think that they tried too hard to make it into like a better version of what the
My
first
thing is like once you start messing with timeline stuff,
mm-hmm.
it's like it gets too convoluted,
Unless you've
and you like
because I guess the other thing
yeah,
is like
unless you're like super into it. But like for a casual viewing, like I'm like it's too much.
well, and also like I feel like especially with those movies, they didn't really like plan that as well. You know what I mean? I feel like they were just like, oh, this would be kind of a cool movie,
Yeah,
right? Like whereas if you look at like I mean, I hate the way they did it, but in the MCU, they did the whole time travel thing, right? But they had it planned up, they set it up, sort of thing.
it all made sense.
DC was planning to do it with the Nightmare and the Flashpoint stuff and all that. They set that up very early, and then they kind of hinted at it. So like if you have it set up and planned, then it makes sense. But yeah, in the X-Men movies, they just kind of were like, oh, this would be kind of cool just to do it a one movie, just kind of fuck you sort of thing.
I have a friend who like still probably we don't talk anymore, and this is kind of his personality is that like his whole timeline thing about the MCU with at the end of Endgame at the
Yeah.
end of Endgame when Cap goes through time and stuff. Like there's like a whole like, and this I guess is an argument amongst a lot of people that Cap he traveled back and through time again at the end as an old man, and not that he just stayed back like he stayed in a different time. Like instead of come back to the future, he stayed and then he actually showed up right at the time when they sent him back. Did you see Endgame?
Yeah, I saw Endgame. I'm just like,
So you know how at the end, old Captain America,
yeah, he
he's
gives
just
the
sitting on a bench.
yeah, and he gives the shield to Sam.
How do you think he got there?
I assumed it was because he went back. He went back to like plane went down, and he went back to just go live with Agent Carter.
Yeah,
right? He
and
dropped off
then
all the
and then
stones, then he
he
went and lived. Yeah,
yeah, and then he knew when like they were doing it, right?
yeah.
When he was supposed to come back, and he showed up. Yeah, which is like what most people would think. My buddy was like, no, he traveled back from his dimension to that moment to that bench, and I'm like, no, he didn't.
Yeah, it's
So
not.
like I guess that like that's caused a lot of stir in the
Well, that's.
MCU
It's one of
fandom
those. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things.
because
Like
it
they, I think that they did. I think that they. Of course, people are always going to disagree with this. I think
well
they did time travel poorly because I think that
well hear me out.
they did it. For me, I think they did it where they were like, "Well, this is what we want to do." But every single instance of time travel says we can't do this, so we're just gonna say that that's all wrong, so that we're right.
Hmm.
That's what I feel.
Well, the
Or that's-
director actually came out and said that Captain had traveled back to the like he left his universe and came to ours
oh, really?
to give the shield. So like that started like a whole nother stir. Like one of the directors, not both of them. So like one of them was like, yeah, like he like it's almost like he like threw gas in the fire because he knew like because 90% of people were like, yeah, he just came, he just stayed back
It was one of those. It
in
was
the past. Yeah.
one of those lulls in time where there was nothing talking about
Yeah, like he like
MCU. So they were
it was
like,
like totally a troll, and then like a buddy of mine was like, "See, well, like he fucking said it." I'm like, "How did he travel back? Like, who set it up? Who brought him back? Where's his suit? Where's all this other stuff?"
yeah,
He just was like, "Yeah,
I don't know. I just. But anyways, we're not talking about the MCU. We're talking about the better
yeah,"
movie. We're talking about Morbius.
which is MCU.
Yeah, I guess technically it is now, right? Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, no. So, yes, the character, like, we don't really. I guess the other thing is, like, I feel like because of how many times it got pushed, maybe some stuff got lost in translation or got cut or something. Because it did, like we were saying, if like we just suddenly he has like there's this Matt Smith's there and he has armed guards and he drops one line about like maybe losing a hand to a Russian or something. But now he has armed guards around him. Basically, he's just a scumbag. Is the way that I assumed. He's like an entitled money. He has money. He's a scumbag, like that sort of thing.
the thing is, it's like he was but how does he have money?
Exactly.
Because he's
Like
basically in an orphanage.
I don't know. That's the thing is that like
Does Morbius give him money? Because Morbius obviously has a lot of money. He invented synthetic blood.
and
Like,
that's so I don't know if you because you don't know much about this. That was actually a big issue apparently. Was the synthetic blood. You ready for this? People were upset because they were using blue blood instead of just using regular blood. That was an argument I heard.
was it blue?
So the synthetic blood was blue, but there was also regular blood. And throughout the entire movie, he's saying, I can't keep using this because I'm going to have to eventually use this one. I just don't want to use that one.
Because the way the stream was, I could tell the bag was a different color, but to me, the blood looked gray.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like a bluish, like a light blue gray sort of color.
Okay,
Yeah.
it looked like I don't know. It didn't like it.
It didn't look like blood.
It didn't look like blood. It
But
looked like
that was one of the big, apparently, like controversial or bullshit things. Is like it's like how are you gonna have a vampire movie and then he's not drinking blood, and it's like
Can we also speak about one of the weirdest parts of the movie? Is
we're
just
gonna talk about
Tyrese.
we're
Was
gonna
there.
talk about all the parts of the movie.
Yeah, Tyrese was just kind of in the movie, but didn't really have.
Yeah, him and the other guy there. I can't fucking think of
Can't
his
even
name.
picture what the other guy looks like. But Tyrese
Yeah.
had like 6 lines in the movie.
He was playing a cop. He was playing like an investigator or a cop, and like I said, it felt very like I think the storyline was good, right? The overall story arc of the movie was good. I think that the pacing and the way that they cut it was atrocious.
Yeah.
But like overall, the story arc I felt was good. I think what was one of my moments where I was like, oh, was when Matt Smith's character shows up at the jail. That whole sequence of showing him become like us finding out that
I knew
immediately.
right away.
I know as well,
Yeah.
but it was one of those things where like I still thought it was very well set up. Because it's one of those things where like you see him and like visually you can see that he kind of looks a little bit better, and you're sitting there like, wait a
My
minute.
thing, all right, this was my other problem with it is that like again you don't know his background, which actually we're looking at IMDb. Didn't know he was Doctor Who. Didn't know he was like in the new Game of Thrones show. Pfft, know nothing about the guy.
Yeah,
Um,
he's like one of the bigger, most recent doctors.
he's the 13th.
Yeah.
Whatever. Doctor is dumb. So, fuck everyone that likes Doctor
I was
Who.
gonna say we just lost a little bit of viewership, but fuck
Um,
it. That's what we're here
fuck
for.
it. So they, fuck. So like Morbius takes his became a vampire. Doesn't change. Doesn't change. He killed some people, but that was like vampire taking him over. But like at his core, when he has blood, he's not any different. And then this guy is like evil, evil. So I'm like, what? My whole thing is like, what's this dude's origin story? Like, yeah, that's my whole thing. Is like he is such a bad guy, and like, for like I never when they were fighting and stuff. So spoiler, Morbius kills this dude. But I don't know why. I don't know what the whole point of them fighting was. I don't.
So the whole thing. So the reason why they were fighting was because. So I can get this one. So and it's dumb. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to give me an explanation, and I think I'm still going to say I don't know why they were.
Oh yeah,
fighting.
no. So the whole thing was that he turned himself into the vampire, right?
Yeah.
He turned himself
Doesn't
into the
want-
vampire, and then he said
didn't want-
he didn't want him to become that. He became that and realized how much better life is now than being the cripple and pretend I'm always going to be dying. Life's just better now like this, and fuck everyone else because now I'm a superhero basically.
Yeah.
It was that sort of thing. That's the whole thing. So he was trying to. So he was fucking over like Michael's life by killing the doctor, by killing the girl, which we'll talk about that one in a little bit too. Right? So he kills both of them to try to get him to realize, like, hey, look, like, we're just better than these people. Just become evil like I am. Is that typical weird bullshit of, like, I'm just going to destroy your life, and by destroying your life, maybe you'll become my friend again? Sort of thing. It doesn't make sense. I've never liked that trope.
So my thing is like, why? All right, why do they have to fight each other? Couldn't they Morbius is supposed to be like a bigger person. Couldn't he have just walked away? He's like, they're all dead. Like, what do I do now? Like, fuck it. Like, go help people. Like, that's my whole thing. Is like, why is it? I don't understand. Like, you could have done
weird. It's a
if
weird.
if he had been held if he had held her hostage and was like holding her hostage, and he had to kill him to get to her. Okay, would have made that would that's the only thing. I don't know. Though I watching the whole thing, and I'm like, why do they have to fight?
Well, like
Couldn't one of them just leave? Well, couldn't one of them just be like, why are we doing this?
Well, like my other thing as well is that like I said, with the pacing of it, it felt very weird because like we see the beginning part, right? And I will say this: I think that they did a decent job hiding a lot of information in the trailers. Mind you, they also had a lot of misinformation in the trailers, right? But I think a lot of the trailers had a lot of hidden stuff that we didn't see, which is good to an extent. But what I will say though is that the pacing I thought was very weird because like they have him at the very beginning and it's him slicing his hand open and just holding it in front of the trap, he calls it. We never know what the fuck that is or what that's doing. They never explain that.
It catches bats, dude.
It didn't even catch the bats. The bats fucking flew right past it.
I think it caught some of the bats.
Well, I guess the thing is, like, even if it did, like, if this is the trap here, he was holding his hand like this. You know, it was just, like, there was no explanation for it, just kind of boom, there it is. And then it cuts to, him, it cuts to the pre-origin story. Then it cuts to him saying, fuck you to the Nobel Peace Prize people because he made the synthetic blood. And then it's him with the little girl. And then suddenly they're on a boat. And the boat is after the very beginning of the movie. It was a very weird beginning.
What do you mean the boat?
Like they were in the boat. They were in the boat, and then he turns and he kills everyone on the boat.
Oh well, no, they had the establishing thing when they were in the hospital with the girl, and they talked about everything, and then that they were going to do it. And he had gone and talked to Matt Smith and stuff.
Yeah, but still, it was that. So that happens, but then the beginning scene with him holding his hand up. That is put in immediately before the boat. Yeah. Because
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay, so at the very beginning of the movie, right, they're flying
Yeah.
in the chopper,
Yeah.
and he's like in front of the thing, and he holds his hand up for the fucking bats or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
That scene, I do believe, is not supposed to be the beginning of the movie. That's actually after he talks to Matt Smith, because Matt Smith's character is like, "Hey, I can help you get what you need," which is to get him to that area so he can capture the bats and do all the fucking trap weird shit. At least that's the way that I assumed it anyway.
Well, they established he had the bats back at the lab, so it had like he had come back from there. So my takeaway is that he used like a trip, like he used like the whole Nobel Prize thing as like an excuse to go there or a way to go there.
Okay.
That's what I
That
took.
makes, like I
Is that
said, I
like
was at the very beginning of the movie. I'm like, this
that's
is
why I
just
was like
fucking
boats, the bat. I was like, no, the bat's at the beginning. No, that's why I was like,
yeah. Like you see what I'm saying?
um,
Like to me, I just very easy. Like I just, like I said,
there was a couple key lines where they like maybe they put them in like reshoots that established the timeline, but like they were like you could have missed it.
yeah.
So that like I not saying you're missed it. I'm like I completely understand where like
I would
I don't know.
say I think like that was like I said, that was one of the things I like the story arc. I love the idea of the story. Like kind of the same thing with Wonder Woman in '84. I like the idea of the story, but I didn't like the way that it was executed. Same thing here. Like the idea of the
Yeah.
story, didn't like how it was executed though.
hmm
I think the acting was okay. The acting wasn't that bad, really. There was a couple lines every now and then that were just like
It felt unremarkable. It felt like
it
I
was
don't
one of
know
those things where
why.
like I'm not gonna remember. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
Like I don't. It made me want to care about the girl, but I didn't. It made me.
Yeah.
I don't even remember her name. The
I
like the
yeah. I don't.
doctor
Yeah.
that was
The
like in
lady
lab, they
doctor.
like just like killed him. I'm like, that he was kind of waste because he's like a fantastic actor. Um, and then Tyrese, I can't imagine how much money Tyrese charges to be in a movie now. Like I know was
Well,
hurting in a divorce for a while, but like Tyrese is
I'm
like a
wondering if was he in the only thing I can think of, because of course they dropped the line of this looks very similar to the incident in San Francisco, which is
no,
a
he wasn't.
he wasn't in Venom.
No,
That's just weird. Then
that's what it's like.
maybe they're setting him up to be like the investigator guy in the entire thing. Then I don't fucking know.
That's the weird thing is that like I just is very it's
It did. It felt very odd just seeing him out. I mean,
yeah
don't get me wrong. I like Tyrese. I like seeing Tyrese.
yeah
I think he's a good actor. But like when he just randomly shows up and he's a very small role, it's like
because like he you think about it like all the fast movies you don't see like those guys in a lot of other movies. It's because they're in such huge movie stars that like I can't even imagine what it takes to get them in a movie. And they're like, and I'm not saying this to like, they're like not great actors. Like the only person you really see in other movies is Vin Diesel, and because he's always doing his dumb little pet projects,
yeah.
which I love. But think about when's the last time you saw, who's the girl that's always wearing the tank tops?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. When's the last time you saw her in a movie? When's the last
Michelle
time?
Rodriguez, right? Is that her?
Yes. Yeah.
The last movie that I can think of is Resident Evil.
Yeah. The first one.
I know she was in one of the later ones too. I
Okay.
recently watched
Cool.
it. I recently watched the thing show like talking about the whole series, and it was like they're like, oh yeah, they brought her back to the final one. I was like, or the second to final one, or something like that. I was like, huh, didn't know that. You know?
I don't. Yeah, and so like my whole thing is that like how much? All right, I'm gonna look it up. Right, how much did Tyrese get paid for Morbius?
Oh yeah, no, it did. I 100% would be interested to see that. But, like I said, I think that the like nothing was one of those things where it's like you're going to remember this performance. But like it was one of those things where it's like, God, that was terrible. That was like I said, I was messaging Xander throughout the whole thing because I wanted him to watch it. But there was one line. Let me see if I can find it here. You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry. That line. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's just a really corny line. Like a really corny, cheesy line. But then
Well,
I started thinking about it though, and I'm like, other than them doing the like "you wouldn't like me when I'm angry" sort of like thing, right? I'm like, how else would you deliver that line? You know. And I started thinking
Well,
about
because
that, and it's like,
it's a very Hulk line.
well, that's the thing is that like, and then Xander said to me that he thinks it was a throwback to Edward Norton's Hulk when he's in Brazil. Is it? And he's in Brazil, Mexico, when he's on the
Costa
run.
Rica.
Costa Rica, there we go. And he says, and I think he says it in Spanish. He says, "You wouldn't like me when I'm hungry." Instead of angry, he messes up the words, right? Like that sort of thing. But still, though, like I think the dialogue wasn't terrible. There's a couple times when, like I said, like that where I'm like, or the weird line when he's like, "I am Venom." It's like, does everyone know about Venom? Is Venom just like a universal thing now in this like thing? Like
So I guess they're FBI agents. They weren't cops. They're FBI.
could have fucking fooled me. I mean, they probably dropped a line that said like FBI, but like could have fucking fooled me. It felt like cops.
Right. Sorry, I'm like just looking and like it's saying that like he almost had to sign a deal for a multi-picture deal, but that's if Morbius gets a second movie. So he signed a movie deal with Sony, but who's to say they're going to make another one?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Or maybe he'll be Venom 2. You're
well,
saying?
Venom 3 at this point because we already had 2.
Yeah, there are two
Yeah.
Venom movies.
Well, that's the thing. That's the other thing is like there's 2 Venom movies, so why wouldn't there be 2 Morbius movies? You know, and Morbius made money.
Did it?
Morbius made money.
Do you know how much they paid Jared Leto for Morbius?
I have no idea, but I know that the movie was 75 mil and it made like 150
Okay.
or something like that.
Well, it got paid. He got paid 21.
Yeah.
You know, Tyrese only has a net worth of 6 million, which surprises me
Yeah, it is kind of
because Vin Diesel, I think, is at like $1 billion right now.
that's wild.
Because he has his hands all up in 225 million.
I was gonna
That's
say as well.
usually-
Like I was gonna say as well. Remember as well. He has Groot, so he gets all those paychecks.
Yeah, but he actually is like an executive. He has like rights to like the Fast and Furious movies.
Oh yeah, he like that's like his thing now. Like
Yeah.
but no. So visually, this was my biggest issue.
Huh?
It was the visuals, because there were
Well-
moments where the visuals looked fucking cool, and then there were moments where the visuals looked fucking atrocious. In my opinion, like I think
There was nothing that made me go, that looks dumb.
there was a lot of it was just like, and like I said, it wasn't a dumb thing for me. It was more just like what the fuck is happening on the screen right now? Like when they're when they're fighting and like Smokey in the fucking subway.
Why are they smoking?
I don't
Do you know?
I don't know, but it's one of those things. I will say this: the scenes when he's all smoky and it's just him, and he's wearing the jumpsuit, the orange jumpsuit, and the very
That was
end of the
cool.
movie with the purple on the inside of his jacket. Those scenes were fucking cool looking.
Yeah.
The sequence where he's learning how to use his sonar for the first time, that was really fucking cool.
I'm seeing that Tyrese made 500,000 for this movie, which is not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money.
Oh, but I'm definitely gonna reading this wrong because this article is definitely wrong because it's saying Jared Leto got 3 million, which is not true. But then it's saying Michael Keaton got 1.5. Michael Keaton was in 30 seconds.
Yeah, but at the same time, I could see them doing some shit like that to get Michael Keaton. You know. Which also, I'm going to say this right now, that was, in my opinion, that was stupid.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, okay, so I think that him showing up was cool. Because now it's one of those things, it's like,
His immaculate conception.
like, yeah, let's like, now he's there. It's like, I thought that was kind of cool. Other than, I mean, that's just with the whole, you know, that they could pull that off. But then the thing that I thought was dumb, though, was how does he have his vulture suit?
Again, yeah, I was like, so when they were saying, like, apparently this guy, say his name, the way they said it, they're like, we don't know who he is. How'd he get here?
Yeah,
If they don't know who he is, then he doesn't exist in that universe. Or yeah, where did he get his vulture suit?
because
And also,
we
did
see
you-
him come in the jail
so
cell.
in the stream we had, the audio was cut out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go back and watch it?
What, in the cutout audio part?
Yeah.
No.
It's like the voice of Michael Keaton isn't like Michael Keaton.
Yeah, no. So apparently they did because that's why he doesn't take the. Because I know what scene you're talking about. Is when he actually comes in with the vulture suit and him and Leto are talking.
And he doesn't take the mask off.
He doesn't take the mask off because they did that as a reshoot. Apparently, this is all apparent, mind you, after they found out what was happening in Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's when they added that in.
Because it's like have you ever played a video game from a movie or something, and like they get of someone that sounds like it, but it's not them?
I think that they just got him on the phone, sort of thing. Like, hey, do this recording real quick, and send us it.
All right. I want you to. This is bad podcasting, but I want you to watch this. You just only need to watch it for like 5 seconds, and I'm gonna send it to you right now.
All right, just pull something up on my screen.
Because I have it up.
All right. But yeah, like I said, I think a lot of one of the things that I did have an issue with was the faces when they do Morb out, right?
Yeah.
There was times when it looks really good.
Yeah. Well, like when
And then there was
going through
times
the jail scene and it flashed real quickly, you could have missed it when he was leaving the jail.
there was for me there was times when it looks really good and there was times when it looks really bad. So did you send this?
I sent it to you in Discord.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Just a direct message.
I brought up Instagram on my screen here. This was.
Yeah. Just quick. Yeah, right on. So you only need to, you can go to 220.
220.
And you just listen to it and I won't talk and it's straight up.
Yeah, because there's the thing coming in. All right, 220. Come on. All right, so Vulture just comes in right there.
I'm not sure how I got here. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. I'm still figuring this place out, but I think a bunch of guys like us should team up.
See, and the other thing with this is, to me, is this, right? Let me get this back to.
I'm not sure how I got here. Has to do with Spider-Man, I think. I'm still figuring this place out, but I think a bunch of guys like us should team up.
So this is my thing, right? We know for a fact Sony has wanted to do a Sinister Six movie. Because they wanted to do a Sinister Six movie with The Amazing Spider-Man 2. At the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's an end scene credit where there's like a mysterious character walking around downstairs, and he walks past the vulture wings. He walks past the Docker Octopus tentacles. There's like a black symbiote in a fucking jar. Like all these different things, right? So it's the beginning. Like that was them gonna do the Sinister Six movie. Was they were gonna do it off of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 because they thought that was gonna pop. That's what this sounds like to me. But then the other thing is this though, right? From what we know. Morbius is in the Venom universe. From what we know, there's no Spider-Man in that universe. So if some random dude in a giant vulture costume or a giant mechanical flying machine just randomly shows up and goes, "Oh yeah, Spider-Man, he's the reason why I'm here, but I think you and me should team up." The smartest man in the world ain't going, "Yeah, that sounds good."
Yeah, he's not like, dude, what are you fucking on?
Yeah, who the fuck are you? You know,
I don't. There's a lot of questions, not a lot of answers. It's not the kind of good. It's not like you're like, oh, let's see what happens. You're like, I can't even speculate. It's all pure speculation.
That might be the best fucking thing about this. Best line for this movie is there's a lot of questions, not a lot of answers.
Yeah.
I mean, because and then at the end, right? So we're talking about the lady character that we're supposed to, like care about. At the end of the
Doctor.
movie, she gets like killed or something. We don't know because we don't see it. And then
No, she
Leto,
comes back.
and then that's the thing. Leto's character then freaks out and like bites her. So we're like, okay, cool,
And then
she's
makes her a
dead.
vampire. Well, are they going to fight to the death now too?
Well, like, is everyone else that they've bit like are they all going to be vampires? Like,
Well, I think they're drained.
the only thing that I can think of, this is literally the only thing I can think of, right? So
Yeah.
he had 2 of those serums, or 2 of the little jabby things, right? Did he jab her with one when he was like fucking sucking her off, and then jab the other guy with it, so he didn't jab himself?
He would jab. I don't know. It's stupid.
It
You
is,
know, all right.
because
It's
like
stupid.
like that scene happened at the end of the movie. Oh, like, okay, this is the other thing I'll say. First act of the movie is actually intriguing. You're kind of like, okay, what's going on? Middle act kind of keeps your attention, but there's times when you're just like, what is happening? Third act of the movie is just throw that shit out.
Because again, I still don't know why they were fighting. You explained it. But why do we gotta fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Here's like a really weird nitpicky thing for me
Okay.
that you may have not that like I don't think a lot of people would have picked up. So at the beginning when that girl, you remember the girl's seizing and she's like,
Yeah,
like the little girl.
they put her in like a coma, right?
Yeah, the nurse helps, and this is really weird to me. Is that so you know how in like some things where like background characters, there's nothing striking about them. There's nothing that like kind of makes them point out, like stand out.
Yeah, they just kind
so
of
like you. So this girl, this nurse was a very pretty older woman, really hair done up really well, short hair, and like at the time he was like, "Thanks, nurse," and I'm like, I mean that's a really informal way to refer to like the one nurse you have in your very specialty hospital. Imagine that like she probably has a doctorate in nursing. She's like she's like one of the best nurses out there. She gets this job at this blood clinic that like like is very demanding and it's very you obviously need to have skills to work in this hospital that or unit that he's in. And he's just like, "Thanks, nurse." It's so diminishing. And then she comes back later, it's the same nurse that's killed by Matt Smith. And they never give her a name. They always just like,
Say
"I killed the
nurse.
nurse."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You killed the nurse." I'm like, imagine that you work for this guy that just fucking
So now,
kicked away a Nobel Prize,
This
and
is-
he can't even remember your goddamn
so
name.
now this is because I know you probably have a interwebs up on the side there. Look it up. Look it up on IMDb. See if she is listed as a nurse. See if there's someone listed as a nurse. Because if there is, then that's even fucking funnier. But no, I agree. That's a very. I wouldn't even say that's a nitpicky thing. That's just a very like. That's the thing that you kind of would just expect, right? Like I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna trigger a bunch of people if people watch this.
She's not even on the IMDb.
No, Jesus. All right, so you ready for this? This is what I'm gonna say. This might trigger some people.
Oh wait, hold on. Go for it.
I
Listen.
think this movie was too short. For the amount of information they try to drop on you, I think this movie is too short. I think this movie could have easily have benefited from an extra 10 to 20 minutes.
I would say yeah, that's good because it was not a long movie.
It was an hour and a half, and it's one of those things. It was an hour and a half, and it doesn't feel like an hour and a half because it's a fever dream at points. Like I said, I definitely think that it could have used that, and I think it could have used that like right at the beginning of the movie almost.
Oh, she does have a name.
I still think that they say
It's
nurse. all
Nurse Kristen Sutton.
Oh, I was gonna say I was about to die because I thought you were about to say it was Nurse 2.
Nurse 2. And you're like, there was only one nurse. And they're like, exactly.
Exactly. Why the first one?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That was just like a weird thing for me that like they couldn't even call her, like they couldn't be like, "Thanks, Nurse Sutton," or like, I don't know. It just was like,
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah, no. Now that you're saying
and
that,
then for them to kill her, and like,
they went to kill her, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's not Leto's character. I was like, so that's the other thing is that like they did that in such a we're trying to make this into a horror movie sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
But then you're watching it and it's just like you're sitting there and you're watching. It's like this isn't really that scary or this horror kind of like it's just.
Oh yeah, nothing about the movie made me.
I think they tried too hard to try to do that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a weird, very much me complaint that, again, fell by the wayside for most people.
Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. Yeah, no, I think that like I was saying with the third act of the movie, that's just like. Yet again, why were they fighting? But then also, what was that fight scene or sequence? Like it was just
a lot of black cum everywhere.
Tumble, tumble, tumble. Just a lot of visual distraction. Tumble, tumble, tumble. I think the bat scene was kind of cool when he has his fingers in the water and you can like see the echolocation thing. I thought
go, bats, go. That's all I could think of when he's fighting with the bats. All right. So, what are you gonna rate this movie? I give it 3 shirtless Jared Leto's out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I will also give it 3 shirtless Jared Leto's out of 5 because it was like it's not a bad movie. Is the worst part. It's just that it has bad parts.
Yeah. It's not even the dancing part.
It really isn't. That's the worst part. It's like you get to the dancing part and you're like you already kind of don't like the guy by the time you get to the dancing part, and then the dancing part happens and you're like, oh, I really don't fucking like this guy. You know?
And Jared Leto's hot shirtless, man. I'll say it.
I mean, I'll agree with you.
And he's old. He's in his 50s.
I think
you know that?
I did not know that. But then also, that's kind of terrifying now because at the very beginning of the movie, when he's like all like thin and pale and everything, that's him like morphing his body. I will give Jared Leto that. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Oh, he's 50. Sorry.
He will fuck his body over for a role.
Oh, like did you see Dallas Buyers Club?
Oh yeah, love that movie.
Oh my gosh.
him and McConaughey fucked their bodies over for that movie.
Yeah, they did.
But like I'll give him that. I think, like I said, I think that it's one of those things where a lot of people are refusing to watch it because people on the internet said that it's a bad movie.
Man. Oh man, I really hope they don't cast him in Tron 3.
Oh, you know they're not gonna cast him in Tron 3.
They already did.
They already did. He's funding the entire movie.
Shirtless. So in Tron, they have like these little suits, and like, so he's gonna his little Tron suit is gonna be shirtless. It's gonna just be pants.
What if it's just ready for this? I got an idea. What if it's pants, but then it's just the sleeves though?
Oh, the sleeves.
But no collar, no nothing, just sleeves. But then it's
very like early 2000s rave scene where it has like a strap connecting the leather sleeves.
I don't even want the strap. I just want just sleeves because it's
sleeves.
Because it's in that universe. Just sleeves, and have them be like bell bottom jeans at the end though, so they flare out. Interesting,
tight to flares.
So okay,
flares
so here
are coming out, baby.
You know what? So we just did our Morbius review. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. I honestly would say if you have an hour and a half and you just want some background noise, but also something to look at,
I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah, I would 100% wouldn't pay for
it.
Twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv /
search Morbius in this title.
Morbius 357.
Literally, just type in Morbius in there and you'll find it eventually. So speaking though, going from that to Tron 3, what would Tron 3 be?
What would it be?
Yes, what would you have it be? Because now this is the other thing. Is it going to be a soft reboot? Is it a remake? Or are we doing like a soft kind of reboot sequel kind of thing that we've seen a lot of movies?
Did you see either of them?
So, one I do not remember. I'll say that right now. I do not remember one. But Tron 2 is Garrett Hundley, right? Is that his name?
Hedlund.
Hedlund? Okay. But it's him. His dad was Tron. He went in. There's two Jeff Bridges. He goes through. He does all the fighting things. There's Olivia Munn, and then him and Olivia Munn leave, and then they're like zipping down the highway, and she's like, "Oh, the world," right?
So, Garrett Hedlund, his dad was.
Which, by the way, for everyone out there that doesn't know, this is one of DeNutte's favorite movies. So the fact that I just described it like that, I can only imagine how much happiness, but also hatred he has for me right now.
Hatred. It just made me funny because it's Garrett Hedlund is the son of Kevin Flynn.
Okay.
And he created a computer program named Clue.
Okay.
And it's a copy of him, and it's evil, and it traps Kevin Flynn in a computer for 25 years.
Okay. So
and
why is it called Tron?
So Jeff Bridges' business partner. What's his fucking name? Anyways, his business partner writes a program for Kevin Flynn's computer called Tron, and he's like antivirus basically in human form.
Okay.
And then he's corrupted in the second movie by Kevin Flynn's program Clue. And then and then Olivia Wilde's in it.
Olivia Wilde, that's it, not Munn. I said Munn.
That's what made me laugh. I don't know.
Just the fact that it has so much right, but at the same time so much wrong.
You're like well, it's like me calling. We were talking about Peacemaker right before, and I was calling it Peacekeeper. So same thing. So it's a sequel.
Okay, yep.
It's not even like a spiritual sequel. It is just like a full sequel.
Tron 2 is.
Tron 2 is. Tron Legacy. It came out because the first one came out in 82, and then Legacy came out in 2010.
Okay.
So, and it's a sequel. So I think the way they did it, I think that like even, because it's been 12 years since that one, I think they could just do another sequel.
Okay.
Because they have a universe established. The world of Tron, like the computer world they went into, wasn't destroyed.
Okay.
The only thing is that I don't think they'll have Garrett Hedlund back, and if they do, it's in like a very minor role.
I was gonna say, I feel like he hasn't been in a whole lot, right?
No, he has, which is the weird thing. Like he was just in like Triple Frontier. He's been in a couple things here and there. He was in a really good episode of. What show was it? And he played a white supremacist, and it was very funny because he just showed up.
TV show Reservoir Dogs, Modern Love.
Yes, it was Reservoir Dogs. So like, he
episode. What about your dad? Special participation is what it says under the notes. That's weird.
Reservoir Dogs. Have you heard of that show?
No. Yes.
So it's
no.
Yes.
Maybe.
No. Okay. It's an FX show. Produced by Taika Waititi.
Oh, is that the fucking William Knifeman?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
There we go.
So it's like the first like show like completely written and produced and made by a Native American cast and production team. Which is kind of, and there's never really been a show about like, like a reservation. Which is kind of like, when you say that, you're like, oh. But I guess that it's like the first real one. So it, like Bobby, I can't remember his last name. Bobby Lee, he's in it. They're filming second season right now. Remember the Cranberry guy on the longboard?
Yes.
Singing Stevie Nicks?
Yes.
He's in the second season. The cast is a really stacked cast of like very famous Native American actors, and then also like some newcomers. And there's an episode where like it's about a bunch of kids like growing up on the res, trying to leave, being stuck there, and like the main character's mom goes out on a date with a guy she met at a bar, and like he's so nice, and then he has like swastika tattoos, but he's like a doctor, so he looks professional until he takes his shirt off, and he has like a couple and he's like, oh, this is like a family thing, and she keeps trying to justify it to herself because he's like so nice, and then like he like starts saying some real weird like old South racist stuff, and it's Garrett Hedlund, and it's just like it's satire,
and it's Garrett Hedlund.
It's Garrett. He's had some legal trouble too recently, so I think he's had a couple DUIs. I think he might have beat up his girlfriend, who was also an actress.
So this right here.
So I don't. Yeah,
So apparently, also there was a short film. Did you know that?
Tron.
Yeah.
It's
The next day.
it's on the DVD.
Yeah.
It's all
like,
about
fills
it's
in
post it's about leading up to the new Tron movie and then post Tron movie with
Interesting.
like everything that happened while he was gone, and then there's a whole underground movement to be like like Kevin Flynn's not really gone, like something's going on, there's a cover up, and then about how and it kind of sets it up for a third movie
Okay.
more so. Actually a pretty cool thing, but I mean
Okay.
'cause
So
there's the whole thing that's like where like
Ooh.
Flynn lives comes from. Yeah, I don't know. That's like it was an older thing. I mean, sure, the movie came out 12 years ago, so.
All right. So this is what I'm seeing here. This says that Leto was announced to have signed to co-star as a new character named Ares.
Okay.
Right. Then it says about finding the right time, right place, right script, that sort of bullshit. They said that they want Daft Punk back to serve as
Which
composers.
is going to be hard because they broke up.
Yes.
So, you know what's actually really funny about this? So, I'm a big record collector.
Mm-hmm.
This was right next to me. Not even kidding. So, this is a remix album of their Tron album. And they came out with that on a record store day last year.
Interesting.
And so, but I didn't know they came out with it. So then they were selling it. You couldn't find it for less than $100. And then Daft Punk announced them breaking up. So that day I went on eBay and bought it because I was like, it's only going to
Boom.
get more expensive.
Yeah.
And it has.
It does say here immediately after that, it says, however, it is unknown if the duo are reported to be reprising due to their official breakup. And then it says that they have confirmed an update. July of last year, there was an update that confirmed that Leto and the cast from Tron Legacy will co-star in the film, while
Thanks,
stating
Gilbert.
that the company is looking at new directors. In August of 2020, it was announced that Garth Davis will serve as director with a script written by Jesse Wigato. In addition to Leto's role as one of the main characters, he will serve as co-producer. Leto expressed his excitement for production, crediting the original film as well as the original video game that he played as a child as being influential in his career. And Garth Davis has done movies such as Pins, Alice, Lion, Mary Magdalene, and he's currently Foe.
Actually, I really liked Lion. Cried real hard watching Lion, actually.
I feel like you really like that actor.
I do.
Dev
Dev
Patel?
Patel?
Yeah.
Well, he's a really good actor.
I mean, that is fair.
Yeah.
So, okay, so with that being all said, everything that I just read off here from all the different things here, so what, like I said, what do you think the third movie would be?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because,
Because I feel like if you do the kid again, right, like do another, like, it's the son.
if
Like,
you
it's-
could do so, Olivia Wilde
Yeah.
she's basically she's not a human, but she's not a computer program either. Like she is like she like became its own living. She's like basically an AI, like because there was a race of things called the IOs,
Yeah.
and
What if this is secretly just going to turn into a crossover between this and Assassin's Creed?
well, there's a Kingdom Hearts crossover. I have the Kingdom Hearts Tron Funkos.
So what you're saying
Yeah.
is Ares is actually codename for Mickey Mouse.
Yes. So I think that like there is going to be some sort of they're going to try to rebuild the IOs
Okay.
because Kevin Flynn's evil computer program genocided them, and Olivia Wilde was the only one that survived. And it was like a whole race of thousands of people, and he killed them all. So I think maybe they'll try to rebuild them, and then Ares I think would be a bad guy.
Okay.
God of War.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Chaos.
Ares is kind of a, not a typical good guy name.
Yeah, and like Jared Leto sells as a bad guy.
He really does.
Like, because have you watched Blade Runner 2049 yet?
No, but I've
It's
heard.
one of his best.
I was gonna
It's one
say.
of his best roles.
I was gonna say. I've heard that it's one of his best roles.
Yeah, he plays like a blind trillionaire
Interesting.
that has like who owns slaves, but they're uh like so in Blade Runner they're like they like make humans, but they're not humans because they're made and they have a shelf life. They only live for like 5 years. So like he creates um slaves to go like terraform planets and fight wars and stuff. And so like that's how like all the commerce is done in the future. So like if you're super rich, you just live off planet with your slaves
Jesus Christ.
because you can have like a whole like team of slaves that like terraform a planet.
That's wild.
And so he's like the richest man on earth.
Huh.
And he's yeah. Um I've been what the show came out this week that no one's talking about? Shorzy.
So okay, funny you say that because I actually just saw one of my buddies was saying about it on Twitter this morning.
Yeah.
So now, so is Shorzy in reference to Letterkenny?
Yes. Did you watch Letterkenny?
Of course, I've seen him.
I like it. I like it more than Letterkenny.
Oh,
So it's the same writer, same director. It's Wayne from Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Because do you know Shorzy from Letterkenny?
yeah.
So
He's one of the
it's
one of
now,
the hockey guys, right?
yeah, but you only ever see his back,
Yeah.
or he's always shitting, or he's doing something. You never see his face. So now it's about that character, and it's played by Wayne in Letterkenny. But now you see his face, and it's all about him being on like a really shitty, like semi-pro hockey team in the town, and about them like trying to like not fold, or like get like because like the owners like keeps threatening like, hey, if you lose another game, you're folding. So it's all about them like trying not to fold,
That's fucking funny.
and it's very funny. And I like, I've been very into it.
I was gonna say
Actually, I watched it all. There's only 6 episodes. I watched it all on Friday.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
The only show that I've been watching recently, and I think I may have talked about it last week, but I'm not 100% sure, was Spy X Family. Did I talk about that last week?
Yeah.
That's really the only new thing I've been watching.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah, Stranger Things came out. Obi-Wan came out.
Yep, watched that too.
Yep, I heard that was that like made like everyone cry at points.
Because I know a lot of people don't like it.
Well, Kenobi?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Because I was actually just talking to my friend last night about it, and he's like, I fucking hate it. But then he really didn't like The Mandalorian. He didn't like The Mandalorian, and he didn't like Book of Boba Fett. And I'm like, all right, we can't make you happy.
Yeah, I feel like because this one was like apparently also Book of Boba Fett's not getting a sequel. Just a one season.
Well, they're making season 3 of Mandalorian right now, so we'll see.
Well, it's funny as well because it's like that's the one thing I will say that I've noticed that I've seen with a lot of stuff is people saying that they're still waiting for the Boba Fett TV show.
Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's at the Star Wars. They're doing a Star Wars thing right now. I can't remember what it's called. Like it's
I think it was
at
just
Disney.
I think it was just yesterday that they were doing it, where they were
Yeah,
releasing
so
everything.
but it's been like a week-long thing. So we had the new trailer for the new Fallen Order, which is
Survivor.
something like that.
I think
know.
Savior, Survivor, or something. Something that
It
begins with
looks
an
really
S.
good.
It
Yeah.
does. I think
Then-
they also announced this only going to be on next gen. One of the new things that a lot of gaming companies are doing.
Which is good because, like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just, like, why hold yourself back for the old, like, imagine that, like, how, like, you have an original Xbox One, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your game struggles to, like, run Apex.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
So, like, imagine, like, I'm not saying that, like.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
and
There's yeah.
like, why, like, you have this new, like, set of hardware that's, like, as good, like, people are going to hate this statement, as good as a modern gaming PC. Like, why limit yourself? And then they showed it's not out yet, wide release, but they showed a trailer for the new Ahsoka Tano show.
Yeah, they got that. So Katano, what is that? There's the
Survivor.
There's also what's the Tale of the Jedi.
Andor.
That was another one as well. I think the Tale of the Jedi is an animated one.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be.
It is
shows.
Survivor.
It is Survivor. Okay. I think Tales of the Jedi, Tale of the Jedi, something like that. It's like an animated one, but it's a young Qui-Gon Jinn, young Count Dooku when he was a Jedi, young Mace Windu. They're bringing back Liam Neeson as the voice actor for Qui-Gon. And this is one that I thought was cool. I think they're bringing back his kid to voice young Qui-Gon.
Okay.
I thought that was kind of cool because it's like, okay, that's
Like his real kid?
his real life kid. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, that's kind of
Does
cool.
he have does he have a young kid?
I don't have no idea. That's the other thing. Is like, I just think it's kind of cool though to bring in, like bring in the son of the actor to do the voice.
Liam Neeson like pisses his pants in public now. He's like an old fuck.
Really?
Yeah, have you never seen those pictures?
No, I don't want to.
There's a bunch of pictures
Nope.
of him just in pissy pants.
Nope, not looking it up. Don't send
Yeah.
it to me either. Liam Neeson is a badass. I'll always see him as a badass.
Did you see the clip of him in Atlanta?
Probably not. If you
So you know Atlanta, the FX show?
okay, I thought you were talking about like Atlanta, Atlanta.
Oh no,
Atlanta.
no,
I was
no,
sitting
not
there like,
actually in Atlanta.
I don't think so.
I doubt he's ever been to Atlanta. So that's the Donald Glover Atlanta show.
I've heard of it. Sounds familiar.
So it tackles a lot of like modern racism in America towards black people. And the third season, I actually haven't watched it, but I've seen bits and pieces. There's this one. There's a lot of like episodes, like standalone episodes, where it's like a story that has nothing to do with the show Atlanta as a premise. Because the premise is about a rapper and his manager Donald Glover, and like they're friends, and like him up on the come up, becoming a bigger rapper. And there's a couple episodes there. Like there's an episode about reparations, about how like this guy has like a bunch of money from reparations because in this universe reparations are a thing,
Okay.
and he's paying for college for all the black kids in the school, but there's a kid that's half black, but he identifies as white, and no one knows his dad's black. So he has to like, in order to get the reparations, you have to prove to this guy that you're black enough. It's actually Kevin Sam. Do you hear about? You ever see that guy on TikTok that like, he's like, girl, you're 245 pounds. You want a man that makes $200,000 a year? Kevin Samuels. So he just died. He just died in the last week or two.
Oh, okay. So did
But
Ray,
he was.
Ray Ray Liotta. There we go. That was upsetting. See.
But so you have to prove to this guy that you're black enough to get the scholarship. So then he like adopts being black. So it's like it's a commentary on society. But the show, the rapper it's about, he runs into Liam Neeson at a bar, and it's not like him playing a character. He runs into like a Liam Neeson playing a character of Liam Neeson, and he's like, oh man, like how's it recovering from all the racist stuff you said? He's like, oh, I just learned not to say it again. He's like, I feel that way. I just learned never to say it again. And it was kind of like a weird moment because like, because it's obviously a joke.
Yeah.
People are like, see, I knew he was racist, but like, why would he come on the show and be like, and then like, Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' kid.
He was in CSI something. Oh, one of those ones, right?
Probably like once, but he got in trouble. He kind of got in, like, a lot of people were upset with him last year because 2 years ago, because there was like at the Golden Globes, he showed up with Tom Hanks and he was speaking patois to the cameras, and he was going off, like bum, like doing like basically talking with a Jamaican accent, So and he's very white. So people were very upset with him, and then like he just like doubled down on it. Like last year, he put out a rap song called "White Boy Summer."
Oh, it's that guy.
That guy. That's Tom Hanks' son.
I'm sorry, Tom.
I don't know. There's something charming about him because he came on and he talked in nothing but a patois, and like they were at a funeral for a woman from Trinidad and Tobago, and you from Trinidad? Like, you from Trinidad? He's like, no, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm not doing the accent. He's like, I'm from Brooklyn. He's like, why do you say that? He's like, your accent's so strong. He's like, people tell me that all the time. And like he had a Bluetooth in his ear, like just straight like. It's like a big. It's such like a weird self-aware show that like they're putting these people that were necessary like have been thought of as like racist figures in the white community, but like they're really not. But maybe they are. Like it's such like a weird like it's you don't know what to think when you see it.
I don't.
And I could tell you're like I don't want to talk about this.
Not even that. I'm just like, I didn't realize the fucking that was this kid. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's him
looking
and
at it, and then
Rita.
it's like that, and then just going out, and yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
What? Chet Hanks, White Boy
Yeah, I
Summer.
just not even that. Just him as a whole. I just don't get it. I don't.
I don't know. I think he's very funny.
Oh boy. I mean, I also just learned who the fuck he is. So I mean,
Yeah. Oh, I've been following him for a couple of years now. Um, ever since he did the Golden Globes, like, like I don't know. I think he's very funny.
that's fucking wild.
And then he was just on this. There's this. There's a new talk show on Showtime called hosted by a girl named Z-Way, and it's the show's called Z-Way, and she like interviews people and like tries to like put them in really uncomfortable spots. Like she just had Alana Glazer on,
Okay.
who from you ever watch Broad City?
I'm gonna say right now, you're just saying names and words, and I have no idea what's going on.
So and like it just when she has white people on, she just tries to make them uncomfortable, and then like Chet Hanks doubled down and like made her uncomfortable, which is kind of funny. They also went to high school together, which is like kind of like a small world thing.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, all right. Well, I just went off on that for a bit.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, you just said a bunch of people that I have no idea who they are, so I can't really say much to, because it's like,
It's all people in the ether right now
yeah. So
in the zeitgeist.
the viewers.
Yeah.
All right, so the big question of the day now, to wrap this all up, Morbius 2, more BS. Do you want it?
I want to see what happens with Venom and Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's not a really good answer, but I don't know where Morbius 2 goes, and I don't think we need a Morbius 2 before we get another product. Because, like, at the end of Spider-Man, I'm like, what the fuck's going on with this? Where it has, whatever his name is, the guy who plays Venom, he gets transferred somewhere. And, like, my whole thing is, like, what's going on with that? They're all going to tie in now because we're pretty sure, like, that's established that Venom and Morbius are in the same universe. But Spider-Man's not because they didn't know. The only person that somehow that guy at the bar knew who Peter Parker was, but it was in a different universe.
Yeah.
Also, that guy's in Ted Lasso. Greatest
So,
show on TV.
yeah, that's what I've been told. Do I want another one? Simply just because I love the fact of social media bullying companies into making things. Yes. But yet again, like you said, I don't know where we go because the only thing that I can think of would be the only real place you go is either by bringing in people from like Venom or trying to bring in Spider-Man or doing something with Vulture, which yet again still baffles me why you would even fucking bring that in other than just to, kind of tie everything in with the MCU sort of thing. But it's like, other than that, it's the girl. And then it's like, well, what the fuck do you do there? Like, is she going to be bad? Is she going to be good? Like, I mean, like, are they going to be like,
queen?
are they going to be the vampire couple? Like, what the fuck do you do? And then it's like I said, I would like to see a Venom 3 and see where that goes. Now that he knows about Spider-Man and he just went to a different universe and then came back, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or at least we're assuming that he went back to, where he went to. But I think we're getting Kraven the Hunter next.
I don't even know what that is.
So you don't remember who Kraven the Hunter is? I mean, of course, I was
never even heard of it.
I was gonna say I say that, but I used to also watch all the Spider-Man TV show, like the animated Spider-Man, like the old school, like 80s Spider-Man, like that sort of thing.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I used to watch that. So Kraven the Hunter is a anti-villain,
Okay.
anti-hero. Kraven the Hunter 2013 film, so it is coming out next year.
He's chaotic neutral.
Yeah, exactly. Christopher Abbott has been cast as the main villain. Kilisaro has been cast as a villain, while Russell Crowe, Fred Heinke, and Levi Miller have been cast in undisclosed roles. Aaron Taylor Johnson is being cast as Kraven the Hunter. There's been some pictures, and it actually looks really good. He does. And then Ariana DeBois as Calypso, a voodoo priestess who is a love interest for Kraven the Hunter. It's supposed to release. Oh, it's supposed to release the day after my birthday next year.
Woo!
Look at that.
Chris Abbott is really good. He was in this movie I just watched about assassins who take over other people's bodies. Possessor. It's right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a really weird, fucked up movie. But he's like this. He's like a. Oh, he's not Canadian. I thought he was Canadian. He's from Connecticut. But he's in like a lot of weird. Oh, he was in Catch 22. That was the big one.
Also, Taylor Johnson has signed on to portray Kraven in multiple films. It says here.
I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. So.
I do too. I think that he's a very underrated actor. I'll say it like that.
I think the reason he's underrated is because every movie he's in, he looks so different.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have like one look. So like do you see Nocturnal Animals?
I feel like I've heard that one.
So a lot of people saw that and didn't realize it was him. They're like, "What do you mean that was him?" And then because they think of Kick-Ass, and then they think of The King, and then King was really good.
Okay, so
he was in the new Kingsman movie, which sucked, but like he doesn't even look the same in that movie. He was in The Wall, which was really good. I actually really.
Yes, The Wall was actually a very underrated movie.
Yeah,
that one was one of those ones that went fully under the radar.
That was John Cena, right?
Mm-hmm. Cena's the Marine that gets downed.
Yeah, it's just the three of them. Yep. That's the whole cast.
Sony hasn't released much about it. However, in the original Marvel Comics, Sergei Kravanov is born into an aristocratic Russian family.
Sergei!
He becomes a world-famous international big game hunter who tries to catch the ultimate and elusive prize, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Later stories, which Dr. Calypso, which as I said was going to be in this movie, gives him
Pirates of the Caribbean. Calypso
gives him an herbal potion, granting him enhanced speed and senses that match those of wild jungle cats.
I'm just excited. I really want to see Kit Harington as whatever dumb character he's supposed to be.
Black Knight.
Sure.
That's literally what it is. It's Black Knight.
Yeah. You know what? I'm actually looking at Aaron Taylor Johnson's IMDb right now. I'm actually really thinking about it. I'm really disappointed that he wasn't in any of the other Godzilla movies.
I was about to say that.
Because I really loved him in Godzilla, and I liked that first one.
I think it brought a very human, like...
Yeah, because then we've talked about the other Godzilla movies. I think we did a podcast on just one of them.
I think we did.
Yeah,
it was when Godzilla and Kong, when that came out. That was one of our first ones.
Was it? Yes, it was. And that was because that was one of the one-offs you used to do with people. And I don't know. I think that throwing Millie Bobby Brown in there was something I even watching Stranger Things right now, I'm like, she is such a bad actress. I don't understand the appeal to her.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'd never really.
And she's I think one of the reasons why it took so long for the show to be made, because it's 3 years since the last season of Stranger Things, is that she was like, "You're not paying me enough money," and they had to pay her triple everyone makes, and she's not even the strongest female lead in the show. There are 4 other females that are absolutely killing it, and she's just Ethan Hawke, his daughter's in the show, and she's crushing it. Ethan Hawke and what's her name? She's a famous actress from Kill Bill. Did you see Kill Bill?
Wasn't a fan of Kill Bill. Not gonna lie.
The woman killed. Her her her, her daughter, and her and
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Okay.
She looks like her, and I'm like blanking on her name right now.
I will say this is that, like I said, I think Craven the Hunter is going to be the next one. But like, I could see Morbius being in other movies, like Morbius appearing in Venom or Morbius appearing in Craven the Hunter or like that sort of thing. Not exactly getting
When is
a
Craven slated?
January 13th, 2023.
Oh, really?
Like I said, the day after my birthday.
Are they filming it already?
Yeah, they've already started filming it. You can look online and find some pictures of him. They showed a sizzle reel at some point this year, or the end of last year, from it, but it hasn't been released to the public. They kind of showed it like in private, and somehow it still hasn't been leaked, which is kind of crazy.
There's a picture right here of Henry Cavill as Craven.
Yeah,
Which gets me hot.
I mean the fact that he, I want him back as Superman. That's all I want. I just want him back as Superman.
I know. Do you think? Well, I'm looking at pictures of here. Do you think Aaron's going to get just yoked?
I mean, he already. I mean, there's some pictures. I can probably find one again. I just had one on my screen here a minute ago. So Craven the Hunter images.
Oh, him in Tenet. I completely forgot he was in Tenet. Oh man. Him and his child molester wife, man, they're killing it.
Who?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh.
Aaron. Well, because he started he's like his wife is like 20 years older than him, and like knew him as a child, and I think they started dating when he was like 16.
Here. Yeah, so here,
Yeah.
I will send you this on Instagram because that's the easiest way for me to do this right now. There he is. There, here, drag over, drag there, send. Look at that.
Do you ever get like things on Instagram that are like, "Hey, you should know this person. You should be friends with them," and I'm like, "No,
Yep.
no way. I don't like that person."
I don't know that person. I don't want to know that person. Yeah, I mean, like, looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
that, like, I dig it.
Great hair.
Yeah,
Great hair.
great hair.
Great head of hair.
Right, yeah, so that was episode 123. No, I'll say this. The only thing I just want Jared Leto to say it's morbing time. That's all I want.
It's Morbin time.
Imagine
That's like he pulls out a belt buckle and it was like pew 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 pew.
it's just smoke and bats everywhere, and then suddenly
What? Oh, I was gonna say, what do you think his Mighty Morphin Power Ranger animal is? But
yeah, I mean it's
it's a bat.
a giant dick.
It's and then as he comes out, it plays. Oh, it plays 30 Seconds of Mars. I was gonna hum 30 Seconds of Mars, but there's no really no. It's all a bunch of beep and boops.
Yeah, that is true. There's a bunch of pieces and boops. All right, so what are we doing? Unpopular, popular, positive, negative. What are we doing? How we ending it?
How are you feeling this week? Well, what do you think? Do you need positivity? Do you need the negativity?
I don't know. To be honest, I feel like there's enough negativity in the world. Right?
I think more people should get a motorcycle because ever since I've been on mine, it just makes me smile at the end of the day.
All right.
Granted, I almost got fucking smoked by a car the other day.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Almost smoked. Like,
how about we don't do that?
I almost got smoked by a car on Tuesday. Like this girl in like an Audi, she like pulled out on the side of the road and then swung around and then missed me by like a foot. I would have been toast.
But
get a motorcycle.
Okay, so yours is getting a motorcycle. Mine's gonna be stop being so hard on yourself. I feel like everyone these days is a little bit hard on themselves. I know I fucking am. There's enough shit to be negative and bring you down without you bringing yourself down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
don't be hard on yourself. Be hard on others.
Exactly. Don't be hard on yourself. Be hard on others.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's 123, the Mighty Morbing Memorial Weekend podcast. Hopefully everyone has a great Memorial Day weekend. make sure to, you know what? A lot of people don't know what this weekend is. Make sure you look it up. Because a lot of people don't, and I think a lot of people should know what this weekend is. So
I always want to make jokes, but it's not a good one to make jokes about. Even
Nope.
I know that.
yeah, I mean, as a part of a military family, I kind of, this is one of those ones where every Memorial Day there's a little, like plaque sort of thing over here in the park, like literally across from where I am, little plaque, flag, and everything. And me and my dad go out there every year on Memorial Day. Doesn't matter, never missed it. So that's what I'll be doing, and then I'll probably be getting on stream at night.
I'm going to go see Top Gun today with a buddy who just got out of the Army, and I'm going to make sure I thank him for his service while we're
in the movie theater.
That's his favorite thing.
Yeah, so hopefully everyone has enjoyed this. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Have we swayed your opinion on Morbius, or even made it so you want to watch Morbius and give it a try? I honestly think people should. It's not, like I said, it's not that bad.
And you're not a Marvel fan.
I'm not. I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah, and it just what yeah.
Like this,
I guess reiterate, it's not that bad.
it really isn't.
Not that bad.
But thank you all for stopping by, hanging out. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think, or what you guys want us to talk about next week. And then we'll take a look. But as always, depending on where you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's still trouble. Stay safe, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.